Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy E2 Blue coming back at you again. And sorry I didn't get a chance to do the video right after the game last night. Well, we all know it was a late game here on the East Coast. It was at 10 o'clock Eastern time. You know, they played in Honolulu Stadium in Honolulu, Hawaii. So, you know, the time, there was much earlier. So it was 10 o'clock here. I was actually out at my frat brother's house. Shout out to my frat brother. Those of you guys probably know him. He was on my channel way back in the day, Mouth of the South. My loudmouth fraternity brother that's a diehard Cowboy fan as well. I was over his house. He had a birthday party for his wife, so shout out to him and his wife, and happy birthday to his wife. But just I want to get into a couple of things about the game. Now, again, we know that it's still preseason. there's no game planning. It's shell of plays. Everything is just cut and dry for these players to shine. There's a couple of standouts I want to talk about, a couple of guys that didn't do so well I want to talk about, and see what you guys think about that. So let's get into it, y'all. Let's get into it. So first off, I want to talk about Tony Pollard. Now, there's been a lot of hype around Tony Pollard since he's been on this team, since he got drafted. Now, everybody's been all talking about the whole Zeke being the Cabo thing. And speaking of that, Ezekiel Elliott took a flight back home to Dallas. Now, that could mean anything. That could mean that he just wanted to take his ass home because he's tired of being in Mexico. Or, as I talked about before, I think that a contract is coming up with him. And I think it might be this week. Don't quote me on this. I'm just speculating because of the timing that happens. Now, I understand that he's coming back home. The Dallas Cowboys were on their way back home after the game as well, because they're done in Oxnard. They're going back to Frisco, and they're going to finish the rest of training camp at home in their own Ford Center. Now, I've told you guys many times before that the way that this coaching staff likes to run business is they want their players there when it's time for any type of contracts to be talked about or had. They want their guys to be there. They want to have the conversation with you, because again, if you're not here physically, how am I supposed to have this conversation with you about your contract? And you know, that thing with Dak about the 40 mil, we know that wasn't Dak. That is agents. The agent's job is to try to get the higher amount of money as they can get, even though they know they're not going to get that high, because they know they're going to settle somewhere in between the lowest number and the highest possible number. So I already said that I think that Dak's getting anywhere between 32 and 35. Ezekiel Elliott, I would assume he's going to get Gurley type money with some damn good guarantees. And Amari Cooper, the way that his 13.1 mil is set up, you technically don't have to touch that right now, but if you do, all you got to do is just, for his contract, is just up the years and a little bit, not even that, you can leave the annual salary the way it is, give him some guaranteed and maybe some signing bonus, and give him some years, like another 4-year contract, and boom, you're ready to go. It's really not as difficult as people are making it seem like, because they can get all these guys signed. It's all about getting the number that makes sense for the team as a whole, because again, there's going to be some other guys coming down the pike that have to get paid. Now, the guys that don't need to be signed this year, you look at what's going to happen next year. We're going to have more money next year, and then of course, you know, salary cap goes up by 10 every year, it seems like. The CBA contract is going to be up. We don't know if there's going to be a player strike. That could be another reason why Zeke is trying to get a contract now. But we already know that Zeke threw a monkey wrench into the plan because of the simple fact that he still had 2 years on his contract. But I think that his agent was thinking of, okay, well, if we go into a strike year, we want to make sure that we get this money before a strike happens. So that's speculation, but it's just my educated guess on that. Now back to the game. So Tony Pollard, he ran for I think he had like 4 carries for 47 yards, and then he had a touchdown, and then one of his he had a screen pass for like 9 yards that was nullified by a penalty, but it was against the defense. Well, I mean, it was nullified by a penalty, but they made up for it. They came back, and he ran it in. He got the ball in and ran it in for a touchdown. Now, I love that one cut jump that he does. It's like he finds a spot, boom, and hits it hard, hits it fast and hard, and he gets into that hole, and he's very shifty, and he comes in there and he does his thing. I love it. I think that him and Zeke are going to be a great 1-2 punch when Zeke comes back. And I say when Zeke comes back because he will be back, guys. Come on, let's just think about it. He's under contract. He's not gonna sit here and sit out the whole season and lose all that money. He ain't gonna do that. That's just dumb. I don't care how much money you make. You're not gonna sit here and not make your money. That's dumb. Go out there and play with your team and do what you need to do and play the game. Yeah, so as far as Tony Pollard go, he had a pretty good game. They only played those guys one series. Dak Prescott didn't play with his full offensive lineman. And speaking of Dak Prescott went 5 of 5 for 67 yards passing, and of course the touchdown to Tony Pollard. Now, it was a 97-yard drive, and you know, I was thinking the whole game, I was like, oh, the Dak haters are gonna be like, oh, if he don't score, then blah blah. Whatever. It's preseason. God damn it, I don't care. But I look at what the offense was. Oh, one of the biggest things that outside of Tony Pollard that I was looking at in that situation was the fact that they ran Jameis Olawale, the fullback, on a 3rd and 1. They handed him the ball and he ran for like 4 yards off of 3rd and 1 to get the first down. We ain't never seen Linehan do that with this offense. This is what I'm talking about, you guys. When you guys talk about Kellen Moore ain't doing this and doing that, and you're not seeing nothing from Kellen Moore, look at the little shit that he's doing. Excuse my language. Look at the little things that he's doing right now. Look at the little stuff he's doing. Look at it. He's not trying to put his hand out there or show his cards because it is preseason. But the simple fact that that one little thing right there shows to me, and then they did a lot of motion in the backfield too. You seen Tavon out there motioning. You seen John V. Johnson out there motioning. Again, these are different looks that we haven't seen our Cowboys do. And again, I know how the Cowboys were running before, and it's a different look that I'm seeing right now, and I'm loving it. Y'all might not see it right now. You'll see it in the season, and you'll come back and be like, E2, you was right, bro. You was right. I don't even know why I even second guessed that. But it's cool. I'm not sitting here telling y'all no BS, because I do a lot of research, and I've been watching these Cowboys play for years. And when I tell you that I look at different things that different people that people don't think about. And I guarantee you, ain't nobody talking about that Jameis Olawale play. Nobody's talking about that, because it was yes, it was a minuscule thing, but that minuscule thing spoke volumes. That one play spoke volumes. Everybody's talking about the Tony Pollard thing. Yes, he did great. We already know that Tony Pollard is going to be good. We already know that he's going to be a great 1-2 puncher with Ezekiel Elliott. That was never in question. But the fact, and I kept telling you guys, they're going to use the fullback more with this Kellen Moore offense, because this is how Kellen Moore ran things when he was at Boise State. If you guys have not been looking at what Kellen Moore has been doing before, look at what it is. I'm not saying he's going to come out here and be a mastermind, because he's new at it. Yes, he is new at it, but the fact of the matter is he still knows his X's and O's. He knows football. He knows how to run the offense. So it is what it is. He's definitely going to be a much better coach than he was a player. And I think a lot of the reason why he wasn't going to make it well, because he was a left-handed short quarterback playing in the NFL, when 90%, I want to say shit, might be even 95% of teams in NFL are right-handed teams. And teams can't adjust that easily to left-handed quarterbacks. Now, Michael Vick was a different, I told you guys before, Michael Vick was a different situation because he was very mobile. Not to get too much off topic, but back to what I was saying originally. But Tony Pollard shined. Dak Prescott did his thing. He did get that sack, but he had to take that because there was nobody to throw the ball to, and again, he didn't have all his starters on that line, and you just got to chalk it up for the Rams defense on that one. Even though all of their starters didn't play, some of their backups are good as well. So you know, these guys are trying to make the team, so they did a good job of containing Dak on that one. But Dak still drove the team down. Jason Witten had a little short out pass. Yeah, and Maher is still inconsistent. as we sit here and talk about our kicker, right? And I know a lot of you guys are worried about the kicker, but for whatever reason, the Joneses don't seem like they're too concerned about the kicker. Maybe they're just putting that out there because they don't want to tip what they're going to do. Maybe they're going to bring another kicker. I don't know if Matt Bryant got signed by anybody yet. Bring him back. If there's somebody retired that was good, bring their butt back, because you see what the Eagles did. They went and got McCown out of he just retired. They like, look, don't retire just yet, bro. We need you because we got injured quarterbacks that we need help right now. We need that help right now. So that's that. So then you look at our defensive side of the ball. Now, these linebackers are playing hard. I saw Justin March a little out there. I seen hit the back of his jersey a lot. Nate Hall had a couple of plays. What is this? Jonathan Alumba? The tall, dreaded kid that everybody compares to Richard Sherman, like a poor man's Richard Sherman. Now, he said, look, y'all look at me. I know these other corners and safeties and showing y'all what it do, but hey, I'm a lumber, guys. Hey, I'm here. Can I get on this team? And he had some good plays out there. He batted the ball down on, I think it was like 3rd and 12, that Sean McVay tried to challenge, but Jonathan Lumber, he was smart on that because he turned around and because the rule is when a cornerback turns around and he's looking at the ball as well, they're 9 times out of 10 not going to call the PI because they see that he's trying to make a play on the ball. But if your back is turned, they're going to call that. They're away from the ball. They're going to call that penalty every time. But because he turned around and saw that ball in the air with the receiver and tried to bat it down or try to get it out of play, it was a no call, which was good for the Cowboys because we got that turnover. But also, when you look at some of these young guys, safeties and corners, like Alumba, I like Alumba, but he's a little handsy for me too. Like if he's going to make this team, he has to learn how to not grab so much. Like if you're gonna do that, you do that right when the wide receiver gets off the ball. After 5 yards, let go of that jersey, man, because you're gonna get called for that every time. So don't get in the habit of being handsy, and you got to learn a little bit more technique than that. You look at this defense, like Kerry Hyder, 51, Kerry Hyder was out there making plays. He was screaming off that edge, man. I'm telling you, these guys that we got, and again, this is a veteran from the Lions, and I was already high on both him and Christian Covington coming in. Now, I know Christian Covington was still dealing with injuries and stuff, so he's been in the game here and there, but I think that he's going to still make the team anyway because of the simple fact that they already know what he can do. But as far as Kerry Hyder goes, he going to make the team too. Now, Mike White. So Mike White, they gave him the nod to start second after Dak finished his first drive of the game. Mike White came in there. He stunk the place up. He had an interception. I think he only had 40-something yards passing, maybe even 36 yards passing, something like that. But it was like some ridiculous low number. But again, it's preseason. It is what it is. He threw an interception as well, and the rest is history. He kept getting sacked, and he fumbled the ball, I think, once. And I just, I don't think Mike White's gonna make this team, guys. I don't think so. I don't. It's not looking too good for the homie. But Cooper Rush looked good. He came out there. He did his thing. He got knocked around a couple of times. He got some penalty called. Cooper had a nice little when he ran the ball himself. Had some nice yardage on there. That got nullified because it was a hold on our on one of our offensive linemen, our backup offensive lineman. Then it was a play where he also ran it again, and one of the guys on the Rams defense hit him in the head as he was going down, which you can't do that. And they ended up ejecting that guy from the game. So just like in the first game, somebody got ejected. It's crazy. So you can't hit a quarterback when he's sliding. When he's sliding, you can't do that. So you gotta you just can't do that. So I think that's pretty much all I had. Now again, it's preseason, guys. It's really just for evaluation. So as these preseasons go along, you start to see guys step up and do different things. It's going to be really hard to cut this team down. I'm thinking that they don't keep Mike White. You have then you have 2 quarterbacks on your active roster. It'll just be Dak Prescott and Cooper Rush, and then that way that's another spot open, and they can keep another defensive lineman or maybe another DB, whatever the case may be. We had a Iloka sighting. He was out there making tackles. I keep trying to tell you, he's a box safety. So you're going to see him making tackles. He's not a big interception guy. He's going to be out there in the box making tackles. That's just what he's going to do. But that's all I have for right now, guys. Hey, subscribers, I appreciate all you guys that, you know, been supporting me through the years. Now reaching 4,000 subscribers is huge. I'm still a little man in the pond compared to my other fellow cowboy YouTubers, because they've been killing it for years. I'm still new compared to these guys. Those of you that have been following me from the beginning, bless you guys. Thank you. I appreciate all your support you gave me. I'll be honest with you just real quick. I never thought that when I started this YouTube channel that it would actually grow like this. I didn't think people gave a damn what I had to say. I really didn't. I mean, I've always spoke the truth from the beginning. And I'll debate you on anything, because again, I know what I'm talking about. I'm not an idiot. Now, at the end of the day, I appreciate you guys listening, and because I'll be honest with you, I had no expectations for my channel when I started. At first, I was just like, oh, let me just try it. If it flops, if I end up being trash, I'll just throw the whole thing away or whatever. Ain't nobody gonna want to hear me or listen to me. But then after a while, like, I started getting more subscribers and people started interacting with me. I was talking about other stuff other than football, like life problems, and I heard that some of you guys were having life experiences and life problems yourself. And I guess, you know, some people came to me and was like, oh, you know, you talked about this particular topic and it helped me out in my personal life, and that made me feel good about myself. So I was like, okay, well, maybe I'll continue doing this channel. Maybe I can reach somebody in a positive way and try to help somebody deal with whatever issues that they're having in their personal life. Now, me personally, in my personal life, like, I'm working on things big right now as far as career going. So that's why, like, sometimes you'll see a couple of days stretch that you don't hear from me. That's not saying I don't want to talk to you guys, but, you know, I'm getting things together in my life as well, you know, personally, just myself, trying to get myself right, because again, life is all about getting yourself better. You don't want to be stuck in one place. If you have an opportunity to get better than what you are, do that. Do that. Don't get comfortable. Don't be lax. Don't be lazy. Always stay consistent in what you're doing. And me personally, like, I am a very tenacious individual, and I will do whatever I can to fight hard and be the best version of myself. So with that being said, y'all, appreciate you guys. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and that notification bell. This is your boy E2 Blue, always keeping it real. I'll talk to y'all soon. Y'all have a great Sunday.